We went to Colombo, the capital. It's 8 hours' ride from the front line, but we'd heard hundreds of Tamils had been arrested. Hundreds more have simply disappeared. We kept a low profile as we went to meet a Tamil MP and human rights investigator. Abduction is the most sensitive subject in Sri Lanka, one the government doesn't want explored.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Ganeshan. Hi. Every day, Mano Ganeshan is besieged by the relatives of the disappeared.
There are so many cases, hundreds of cases.
How many in the whole of Sri Lanka?
Say about 2,500 men and women have gone missing within the last 12 months in all of Sri Lanka. The husband is one of them.
What's the chance of them being released alive?
Only about 1% have been released, 1%. But I can't tell it to her because she's hoping that she will come back again. Even I too hope. These abductions, disappearances and extortions, extralegal killings have become the way of life in this country right now. We have records of the persons who have gone missing and the addresses, places of incidents and ID cards and police complaint numbers, everything is available with us. So you must have noted this city is netted with many checkpoints. None of these checkpoints have arrested any abducted vehicles, abductors arrested or abductors released. So what does it mean? You don't need a rocket scientist to understand this. There is a cooperation, a connivance between the men and women, the security forces manning in checkpoints with the abductors.
Who are the abductors?
Pardon?
Who are the abductors?
Abductors are the persons who are supported by the very influential persons in the government, the state. Immediately after this regime came into power, they started doing it. They said this is the way to put down the Tamil rebellion.
They joke in Sri Lanka that government is becoming a family business. Since his election 2 years ago, President Rajapaksa has appointed 3 of his brothers to government. One is the Secretary for Defence. All are Sinhalese nationalists, determined to crush the Tamil Tigers. We went to see the Army Chief of Staff. We wanted to know why so many people were being killed and disappeared in areas under his control. Commander, has it been decided that there is only a military solution to the problems in Sri Lanka?
In the eastern province. And if still they don't understand, we might have to do it once more, hoping that they will understand that.
How are so many hundreds of people being murdered, being killed and abducted in mysterious circumstances all across the country, in the east, in the north, even here in Colombo?
Yeah, those are the allegations by the interested parties who are trying to sabotage or block the military operations. They have vested interest. They say hundreds are missing, hundreds are murdered. But as far as the complaints are concerned, there are no complaints, formal complaints even entered in the police stations or something like that. There are no witnesses who have come to a police station and give evidence. But as far as we are concerned, we give protection to the civilians, innocent people.
Commander, in areas, say like the east, which is now fully liberated by the army, how is it not possible to stop whoever these mysterious, unidentified gunmen are?
If you are referring to, try to say Karuna's people are doing it or any other paramilitary groups, then it's a problem between LTT and the paramilitary groups. This area is not a normal area. So people getting killed and some people going missing will happen as far as the anti-terrorist operations are continuing.
We have decided to go to the old Tamil capital, Jaffna, in the north. It's a government enclave deep in Tamil Tiger territory. The only way in is on a military-controlled flight. But within minutes of arriving, it became clear the military were determined to control what we saw and who we met. We're in a guest house now. The armoured personnel carriers waiting outside. There's a soldier right at the door of the guest house. The people who run the inn are afraid. We feel very intimidated. They're telling us we've got to move to an army base, that we cannot be out of the sight of the military at any stage. I don't know what's going to happen next. We were forced to spend that night on a military base and told we'd be returning to Colombo the next day. In the morning, the army agreed to give us a swift guided tour before we left. Every day, someone is killed or disappeared in Jaffna. It seems pretty certain that the LTTE, the Tamil Tigers, are responsible for some of the killings, some of the abductions, but certainly accusations are being made every day against the army, against the police. But we cannot investigate that. We're supposed to be here for 4 days. Instead, we have an hour and a half. This seaside city is ringed by checkpoints. I just heard a shell explode. The front line is really only a few miles away from here, though for security's sake we're not allowed to go down there. But every day the Tamil Tigers and the security forces are pounding at each other, just like that, with shells. Despite the ring of steel, in the last year hundreds of people have disappeared. We had asked for permission and apparently been granted to go to this nearby island of Kites. We wanted to investigate the abduction of a Catholic priest who was investigating human rights violations supposedly carried out by the military, by the security forces. He'd been going around taking photographs of these abuses and then he disappeared. That was about a year ago, but we're not going to get anywhere close to his church or to meet any of the people who knew him. Next stop on the Army's tour of Jaffna, the hospital. This hospital is chock-a-block with victims of violence from both sides. Our intention was to come to this hospital and speak to the victims from both sides. That's not going to be possible today. We have to do what we're told. Yes. We're being taken to the intensive care unit. Oh, look at this, there are a load of soldiers in here after us. I asked them not to do this. The only person the army wanted us to see was an alleged Tamil Tiger. They said he'd lost an arm while planting a mine. We had half an hour left. We asked to be taken to the government-run Human Rights Commission. It's where people come as a last resort when they're threatened by the death squads. This is the Human Rights Commission. This is where the people are coming to surrender themselves. What that means is when they come to this commission, for their own safety, they're put in prison. So things are obviously seriously bad if you're willing to go to prison. Good morning. Have many of you come to surrender?
Yes, we want to get the help from them.
Everybody here wants help from them?
Yes.
All the women and the men?
Yes.
Everyone here?
Yes.
Hello, sir. How are you? We just wanted to ask you what was happening here. The director asked us to stop filming. He was worried our pictures would endanger the families asking for help. It's men, women and children who are coming here to hand themselves over to protective custody. They're doing it because they've received death threats issued by persons unknown, according to the director of the centre here. If the people do know who's threatening them, they don't like to say. But one thing is for sure, they have to be very scared to put themselves in that position where families get split up and have to live in prisons. The army took us to the airport. In the 24 hours we were in Jaffna, 4 people were killed by unknown attackers. That's the news the government didn't want you to hear. Our tour of Jaffna was over, but it confirmed what we'd seen elsewhere, that in the battle to overcome the violence of the Tamil Tigers, the government seems to be forsaking the rule of law.